In last session, we discussed about expressions. Okay, how to use expressions to set a dynamic coloring to the columns or to a particular cell or to a text box. So we have seen complete picture or completely about expressions in last session. So in this session, we already covered about text box, line, table, and matrix in last sessions. And in this session, we are going to discuss about list, rectangle, image, and sub-report. What each report item is meant for. So if you see, I dragged a list here, and this is my table from a matrix report. Let me delete it. I don't need it anymore. So this is my list. List is used to generate or design free-form style reports. I repeat it, it's a free-form style reports. But an example for free-form style report is the bills you are getting, postpaid bills for Airtel or Vodafone or whatever the network you are using. It's a free-form style. What is meant by free-form style? If you take a tabular or a matrix report, it will have rows and columns and groups, right? So in list, it is not like that. You can drag and drop text box and place it wherever you want. This is a free-form style where in which you can place your controls as per your wish. It is not predefined two-dimensional or multi-dimensional structure. And now, let's say I have a data set. From this data set, I'm taking color. I selected one list, and in list I can have any number of controls or report items. I have taken one text box, and for that text box, I set color. Now let me see the preview. So if you see the preview, how the list will show? List will show like this. So let's say it has 10 colors, and all the 10 colors will be repeated. That's the beauty of this list. Okay, and if you see, every color is repeating. That means it is doing group by color here. Now I'm adding one more text box. Okay, this is the text box again, the second one. Here, instead of color, I'm showing English product name. So what will happen is now it will be grouped by color and English product name. So for every color and for every product name, it will give you the data. For example, if you see silver, mountain silver bikes, and so on, you have some how many pages? Some 8,629 pages of data. So this is free-form style reports. You can place, if you feel like placing this control somewhere here. Let me move this control to here. You can do it. So now the data will be shown as per the controls we set, or as per the design of the controls we set. So this is the advantage of list control compared to tabular and matrix, which will have some default structure. This guy will not have any structure. You can define your own style of reporting or structure of reporting. And let me design a complete report where I want to capture color, product name, and the class that it belongs to. So for that I need one more text box. So I've taken it here. I'll take it here and I'll give some space. And for this I'm assigning class, color, and product name. I want to align all these three things in one shape and one straight line, let's say. So for aligning everything in a straight line, you have some options here. So let me select that option. If you see, this is the left align, so everything will be aligned. Everything starts from the same point. If you see, I clicked on that, you can see the first one I selected is the class text box, and it will align based on that. So whatever you select first, it will be aligned in that fashion. For example, now I'm selecting this one first, and then this, and then this. So you can see the white color and dots, black color dots for a couple of other text boxes. So black color one will be aligned to the white color one. Now if I say left align, so you can see everything moved to the right now. and you have some other options like place in the gaps between two controls. You have so many options here. You can try all this stuff, whatever you have in the um, menu here, toolbar. Okay, if I select this option to equally space, to provide equal space between the controls. Now what I'm gonna do here is, this is class, color and product name, and I'm taking the copy of the same and paste it again. Here instead of column name, I'll give class text to show and I'll bold it. And for this, I'll give color as it's a text, it's a static text. And for this, I'll give products or product. So I'm designing the report and I'll move everything to top. I don't want to give any extra space here. So to remove all this empty page space, I have to select the size from in properties, size set to 0, 0 by default. It will align to the exact fit. Now let me increase the size. Fine. Now if I preview it, it will show each color, each class, class, color and product combination. Now let's make it a better report. I'm taking 2 levels up and I'm taking 4 levels up. Now let's see how it looks. So this report is not predefined, as I told you, predefined structure, and hence you can play with it. So now you can see color, class, product information. And it's an example for this one is while sending couriers, your postpaid bill, your credit card bill, they can't write. If you observe your credit card bill on top earlier, not nowadays. Nowadays they are taking different way. They are following different way. But earlier, on top of envelope, they were sticking some sheet in which your address was present. So they can't write every guy's address. There will be some thousands or hundreds of thousands of customers for a bank who is holding credit cards from the bank. So in that case, what they will do is they will generate a free-form style report like this. If you see here, instead of class, they'll go for name, and instead of color, they'll go for address 1, address 2, address 3, city, pin code, and everything. So what the output of that one will be the address details of every customer to whom they have to send the credit card bill. So they can cut it, paste it on top of the envelope. So for generating these kind of reports, or for generating postpaid bills or credit card bills, you can use free-form style reports, that is by using list control. So you can place any control here. And now let's see what will happen if I place text box. If I place a table. So I selected a table here, and in that I'm taking class, color and English product name. So I'll give more space for this and let me align to the left. Now if I see the preview, you can see the problem here is this one is having detail members. So a table can't be placed inside this. Why? Because this guy is grouped on some values, and inside that it is asking for detailed information. So placing a table is not the right option for list control. For list control, generally you can do the work by using the text boxes, and you have a couple of other things like line to differentiate to categories, and you can use images if you want, something like that. And in the same way, if you try matrix report, you'll get the same error. Now let me show you by taking an image inside this. So customer name, let's say the image name is customer or product name. And if I want to provide some tooltip, yes, I wish to is the tooltip. And I want to either I can refer to the external one which is copied or which will be copied to the server or to some location, to some file system, okay, or the embedded one which will be taken into your report. And the third option is from database. You can get the data, you can get the path or the field which is having the image data. There is a data type called image in SQL Server using which you can store images, and here you have to specify which field is having the data and what is the MIMI type, which means whether it's an image bitmap or JPG or GIF or PNG, something like that. So for our convenience, let's go for embedded, and here it is asking me to import an image. I'll import this. Click on OK, and let me increase the size. So if you are getting this one from database, if you are getting this image from database of every customer, then you can imagine the advantage of having this list kind of report, list reports. You can have the complete employee details or complete product details with images or with textual data or with metric data, everything. So this is about list control. You can try so many things, and if you see the properties, the properties will remain the same like the Tablix properties, whatever we discussed in last but one session or a couple of sessions back. So we have discussed about these page breaks and visibility and filters we discussed, and sorting. So you can see this is also a Tablix. So table plus matrix plus list will form a Tablix. Earlier there were different controls. One is table, matrix, and there were different what I can say controller for each one. Now they merged into one. Tablix means table, list, and matrix. So all these three combined forms Tablix. So if you drag and drop a matrix report or a tabular report or a list report, the object what it will be taken into consideration is Tablix. So this is about list, and let's jump into the next one. The next one is rectangle. Rectangle, if you see, for everything there will be a little bit of this description what it will do, like that. If you see, the rectangle draws a box as a container for other report items. So if there are some other report items you want to place, let's say I want to place some text boxes, 3 to 4 text boxes. I'll show you the advantage of having rectangle also. I'm copying these 3 and pasting inside the rectangle. Now, if you preview it, rectangle, it acts like a holder, that's it. It won't do anything special. It's just a container which holds the other report items. Here, the advantage of this one is, if you want to make this one as invisible, you have to set the property in 3 places. One here, the text boxes. For 3 different controls, you have to place the same, right? You have to click on OK to hide this particular control. If you place everything in one control, and it will have its own properties where you can set the visibility to false, which will hide the complete stuff. And you can have some different color coding, like fill. Using fill, you can have the coloring like either pink or something like that. And if you want to have some image, you can have the image kind of stuff. So this is the advantage. If you see, if I preview now, I set only one control property to visibility property to false, and you can see that is gone. If I have the control separately, just like you're seeing here on top, then I have to set the property for different things. So that's a major, like one of the advantage of having rectangle. And the other useful use of this rectangle is it acts as a container which holds the different report items. Apart from that, there is nothing much to know about this rectangle control. And you are already aware of this image. You can have the images, and if you see the image properties, it will be like the same visibility, the size we already discussed about it, the padding options, you are very well aware of this, right? Visibility, you can hide or show based on some options, and action, which we have not discussed when we were talking about. We have seen only URL action, and we are going to see about reporting action when we discuss about the next report item, that is sub report. So the go to report option will remain the same everywhere here, or in text box. If you see the text box properties, you will have that action page in which the same options, and this go to report is having has a special feature, or it's an important one in SSRS, and we'll discuss about that when we discuss about sub report. So we discussed about list, rectangle, and image, and now we are going to discuss about sub report. Very, very, very important one. So for doing the same, first let me remove all the stuff that I have added. I don't want anything to be here. Sub report and drill through report, both are very important in SSRS. First, let's see what is drill through report and how you can achieve it. Drill through report. You are very well aware of drill down report. What drill down report will do is it will either expand or collapse based on the current state of a particular column value. But this drill through, it will take you to a new page or new report page. Okay, let's discuss. Let's start working. Let's design one drill through report here, and then we will see the sub report and try to compare and talk about the differences between drill through and sub report and drill down report. These three are very, very important. Now we are going to discuss about drill through reports, how to define drill through reports, and how to configure the parameter values between two reports, and so on. So to define a drill through report, first let me go for three reports. First I will call this one as a class report, where I will have class information. So class information in the sense, let me take a table or matrix, anything is fine. I'm going for matrix, and from here I'm taking class and sales. You can see I've taken sales amount, as well as I'm inserting one more column inside the group to the right side, and let me split this guy, and I'm taking tax amount. So this is a simple report where I'm having class level information. Let me expand this. And going to the properties, I'm setting the size to 0,0. Okay, fine, we're done. Let me bold this guy, Control Z, Control B, and this one too, Control B. Now if you see the preview, it will retrieve you the data, or it will display you the data, class level, sales amount, and tax amount. This is fine. I'm aligning it to right. And now I'm gonna design one more report. I copied and pasted. I have not done anything here. I just copied and pasted the report. I'll call it as color report. Okay. In this color report, instead of class, I'll take color. And if you see the preview, you can see the same information. Some 4 color information are coming. Why? Because I restricted the records, top 10 or top 20, like that. So I'll align it to right align. 2 reports are ready, and the third thing, I'm gonna design one more report by copying and pasting the same, and I will name it as products report. Okay, and if I take the product report, let me set it to right align, and I will take English product name here, and let's see how it displays the data. It is showing top 4. Now the problem is here. It is grouping based on class. It should be based on product name here. Okay. And for color report, it should be group by based on color. Now it will retrieve the data properly, it seems. Let's see. Yeah, it is showing all the colors. Good. And this is showing all the products. We're good now. Let me briefly explain you what I have done here. First, I have designed a class report where I'll have class level information. There is nothing else. And the next one, I designed a color report just by copying and pasting and changing the column value, row group value, and it is displaying color level information. And the third one is product level information. Now, what is meant by drill through and how you can achieve the drill through? Drill through report is navigating from one report to another report page. You don't need to have any special features or to add something special to the report to provide drill through reports. You have an option. If you right click on this and see the text box properties, you have an action called go to report. So this go to report, what it will do is you can specify to which report it has to take you. For example, I am specifying color report. So from class report, if I click on any class, I have to go to color report. So I specify it. And in color report, what I'm doing here is for color text box, I'm going to the text box properties again. And under action, I'm going to the option, I'm selecting go to report option and selecting product report. That means from class report, I want server to take me to the color report, and from color report, I should be navigated to product report. Now, let me preview the class report. If I see when the mouse is on, right, you can see the mouse is changed to hand symbol, which means there is some link from here. And if I click on this link, the report is processing and it is taking me to the color report. And from color report, if I click on this value, it is taking me to the products report, the next report which I tagged. And if you see a button, this one, back to parent report, this is the one which enables only when you apply drill through. Never ever it will enable. So you can go back, you can go back. You have two parents, so you can go back to the top parent, I mean your parent and grandparent. Now I'm clicking on N, it is taking me to the next level, next report, and from here it is taking me to the third report, that is product report. So this is how you can configure drill through reports in SSRS. This is most commonly used one. Why? Because let me tell you an example. At first level, people will have country level information, and when they click on any country, they want to split up. I mean, they want the server to take them or take them to the next report where they will have state information for that particular selected country. And the third thing, when they click on, when they select any state, it has to take the user to the district level information for the particular selected state. So now drill through is implemented. But the problem that I'm seeing here is, for example, if I go back to parent report, if I click on red, it is not showing the products that belongs to the color red. It is having all the products. So how can I pass the parameter? What I have to do, I have to pass the parameter from this report to the next report. So then only the products will be filtered. Now let's discuss about that stuff. What the first thing we have to do that job, to implement that particular filtering part by passing the value from the parameter. The first thing we have to do is, at product level, what is our requirement? Our requirement is to filter the data. In this case, filter the data based on color. So I have to design a parameter with color. So I'll take a parameter, I'll name it as color para, I'll prompt it as color, and I will allow or I may not allow. Here in this case, I can click on only one particular cell of a text box. So I will not allow multiple values, and I'll go for available values nothing and default values nothing. I just created a parameter called @para, color para. And the next thing what I have to do here is filter the data, where color, we don't need equal to here as we are not passing multiple values, color in at the rate color. Now the third step is mapping these two, the report parameter and query parameter. This is done for product report. The color report should be filtered based on class that I select. So I need to create a parameter. I'll name it as class para and I'll prompt it as class. Okay, and available values, let it be fine. I don't need to set any available values. I will explain you why we don't need to set any available values. The next step is filter the dataset query, where class in at the rate class, and I have to map these two parameters and job is done. So this is fine. I have parameter ready, and if I go here, I can see an option L for parameter selection, for providing parameter, and if I pass M, it is filtering only M color products. M colors. And if I give L, it is filtering. Everything is working fine. But my requirement is when I click on the master, its parent, this guy's parent report, then it has to filter. So where I have to go? I have to pass the value from class report to the color report, its child. So go to the text box properties again and go to the action page. You can see use these parameters to run the report. You have an option here. If I add, it will list all the parameters that are present in the report that is being called from here. We have only class parameter, and from where I have to get the value? I have to get the value from class. If I select class, then whatever I select here, that will be taken or that will be passed to the child report. Now what is the next thing I have to do? In the color report, I have to repeat the same stuff. For the color text box, go to the text box properties, and in action, you have parameters to run the report. If you see the parameters, you have only color parameter, and the value should be color. That means whatever the color you select here, it will be passed to the child report. And if you, let's go for the class report first, and from here I'm selecting H. It is showing only H color products, and black, it is showing only black color products. But if you observe one thing, this is fine. This is working perfectly fine. But if you observe one thing, the first level I selected H class. Okay. In the second level I selected black. But the product that is gonna list should be H class black color products. But you can see L class and S class also. Why? Because I'm not passing the value here to the next report. So to pass the values, what I have to do? I have to, one second, I have to maintain a separate text box to hold this parameter, whatever the value that I'm passing to this child report here somewhere, and make use of the same again. So this is how you can configure drill through reports and tag the parameters between different reports. So to demonstrate the same, that is passing the class from here. Now I don't have class here. I'm passing only color and it is filtering only color. Let me demonstrate passing the class which this report parent is taken from its parent. This report got this class from its parent, right? Let's try to pass this H also to the child report. How to do that? The first thing we have to do is we need to have a parameter in product which will accept class. So I'll go for class param here also, and I will prompt it as class, and available, nothing here. And in the data set, we have to filter based on class also. Class in at the rate class, whatever the value that I am passing. And in parameters, I have to map this class with the class parameter. And now if I see the preview here, by passing black, and class L, it should filter, and it is filtering, I guess. Let me go for M and see. Then we will get clear picture. There is no M, L and H, right? The first one. Let's see the H color products. So it is filtering. It is returning different color products. Now what I'm going to do here is I have to pass this this class from here to its child report. So what I have to do? Right click, go to the text box properties, and in action page you already passed one parameter, and the next parameter, oops, it is not showing. Just a second. Let me check where the problem is. The product report, I added two parameters, class and color. I think better to rename it. Already there is one in the parent. Let me make it as class parameter, and let me map the same here. Class parameter, fine. And here, this will work fine now. Going back to the color report and going to the action page. It is not showing the next one. Let me give class parameter. Okay, and here I'm passing the parameter value. Already there is a parameter called class in this report. I'm passing the parameter value, whatever the value that I'm selecting. Now let's see. For this, for color, I'm passing the value that user clicked on, and for this, I'm passing the value from the parameter. Let's see how this works now. In design, I'm in class report now. Let me click on H, and it is showing silver, black, and so on. You can see I clicked on black and it is showing only black color products. So this is how you can pass the parameters from parent report to child report, and also from grandparent report to child report, which makes sense in this drill through report design. So this is about drill through report design in SSRS. Now let's discuss about sub-report. Sub-reports plays a major role and in designing parent-child kind of data. For example, let's say this is your report, okay, and we have seen the class is calling some other report in drill through, and now I'm taking a sub-report control here. Let me go to view, toolbox item. I'm taking sub-report in the first report. Now the sub-report will have its own properties. You can see if you click on sub-report, it is showing what is the name of the sub-report and what report I have to use as sub-report. I'm using color as sub-report. Okay, the color I'm using as sub-report. Visibility, I'm setting to true. Parameters, there is one parameter in the sub-report, right? That is class parameter. I'll pass value M by default. Okay, let's assume I'm passing value M by default. Actually, here the report, the sub-report, the color report is not available, but I'm calling it using the sub-report control. If you see, this is your main report and this is the sub-report. Sub-report acts as a reference to the report that is outside of this. So it acts as a reference, and if there is any parameters, you can pass the parameters and it will be filtered based on the parameter value. And if you observe here, the sub-report item is calling this report and still the drill through to the next level product is available here. And the same M value parameter, whatever I have given as hard-coded one, is coming to this. So this is the beauty of sub-reports. Sub-report, that report will be calling another report inside this. This report is calling color report inside the main report. This is the main report, right? You have, and this is the sub report. So this is the difference between sub report and the drill through report is drill through report will take you to the next page or next report. Better to say it as next report. But this sub report, the next report will be called in the same report. And if you see the properties that you can set here, the major property is the report what you are being called, what you want to show in the master page. And parameters, if you have anything, you can pass it as parameter here. What is the advantage of having sub report? Let's say I have a report design which I need to put as header in all the formats. For example, I'm running a company. I have some hundreds of types of documents I have to submit, and all the documents is having some sample text on top like company name, blah blah blah, and so on. So I can design a report for that, and I can call it as a sub report. For example, let's say you want to show this as sub report in all, you want to show this information, the color report information in all the reports you are having. Then instead of designing the report again and again and again, you can design it once and you can give reference to it in your report, just like I'm showing here, right? Sub report acts as a container to show another report inside the main report. So there is nothing much to discuss about this sub report, and you just try the different options and take a scenario and try to practice, try to achieve the scenario. While achieving that, you will come across so many questions, and the answers for those questions, if you are able to get the answers for those questions, then it will make you master in the technology. There is nothing, just to configure. You have to pass the parameters and you have to select the report name which you need to display. And let's see about charts also in this session. I'm taking this one out. I'm taking this sub report out. For example, let me take this sub report out. I'm taking a chart here. And when I drag and drop chart, by default, it will show what are all the chart types that are available in SSRS. If you see, there are so many chart types like column charts or line charts. Line charts means you can see here. This is the set of line charts. Shape, that means these are the shapes, pie, pyramids, and so on. Bar, this is the bar chart. This is the area chart, and this is the range, scatter, and polar charts. You have so many types of charts, but if you see, most frequently used one is column and bar charts, line charts. So let's start with one, and the properties will remain the same for almost all the reports. Okay, so you don't need to practice everything I mean to say here. So let me take the column chart. I selected OK, and you can see the column chart is taken. Now, how to set, what is the series, what is the lesson, and everything we are going to discuss now. If I click on this, you can observe a pop-up is open on the right hand side. So here you have to specify the measures. The first values is there. No? Here you have to specify what is the measure you want to show. As of now, there is no data set for this report. That's why it is showing all the connections and all the data sets present. So let me set sales amount. So I selected sales amount, and if I see the preview, it's better to see the preview by adding each and every property so that it will give you clear picture. So if I see the preview here, it is showing sales amount. It is getting the sales amount and showing the sales amount for all the products that you are having. Right? Sales amount some 3,000, some value for many products, and 2,000 plus. So this is how the report will be, report can be designed. And the matrix has to be given here. The next metric I will add here is tax amount. Let's see how it looks. So for some time, let me close this toolbox. We are not going to use it, and we are not going to use this. And now if you see, this is the tax amount, the yellow one, and this is the sales amount. Now the magic. Categories. Till now the categories is by default one. So I'm deleting the category. If I delete this category, it will show only one record. Only one record for sales amount and only one record for tax amount. And you can see the same here. You can see this is the total tax amount, sorry, sales amount, and this is the total tax amount. Why it was showing so many records when the details was here? It is because, let me go back, let me take you back. You can see the details is back now. And if you see the properties here of the details, it is not grouped on anything. That means it will get all the records. If I remove this, it will be just sum. I will give you the difference. I don't want to confuse you guys. I'll give you the difference between having that and not. So now the current state is select sum of sales amount, comma, sum of tax amount from table name. The earlier case, when you have that category, it was like this: group by all the columns that are there in the data set. So if you know, if you group by all the columns, you will get some 60,000 records, and everything will be shown for every value will be shown for every record. So that is why I deleted the details here. Now I will add a series here. I will add a category here. I want to see the data color wise. And now if I click on preview, you can see color wise sales. And for each color, it will give you sales amount and tax amount. You can see black color, this is the sales amount and this is the tax amount. And for blue, this is the sales amount and this is the tax amount. Now I'm moving this category group to series group. Okay. So if I move this from category to series, then this guy will become the legend part here. So one color will be there for everything. I'll show you that here. Try to understand the difference between having all this stuff. So here it is saying black color sales amount, this is the line. Black color tax amount, this is the line. Blue color sales amount, this is the. So if you want to have the data in the x-axis, and if you want to make it as a x-axis category, then you have to add the color or whatever the column into categories. Or if you want to have it as a legend, this is called as legend. Okay, different series for everything. Then you have to add that particular column to series. So let me drag to color, which will have a. So this is a simple report where I'm showing color wise sales amount and tax amount. The most important thing that you need to remember here is the first thing, the values will have the metric information. The categories will have whatever based on what you want to group it. For example, if you want to see monthly report, here the categories will be month. If you want to see yearly report, the categories will be year. And if you want to split everything and show one line for everything, nothing like separate sales amount and tax amount, then add it to the series, which we will use very, very rare. Okay. Now this is about the data that we can use for the chart. Let's see the properties here. Wherever you click, you can set the properties, right? First, let me set the chart title property. If I right click on this, I can delete the chart title, or I can add a new title also. Already one title is there. Again, I can add a new title. I'm removing it. Or I have so many properties like add, title properties. This is where I can set the text and all. What is the text I want to set here is color sales. Okay. If you see, when I'm typing color sales here, it is getting changed. And you can see the button FX, which means I can provide the value dynamically or from the database or some calculated value. And this is position, where you want to position it. If you click it here, you can see the title is pulled to the right hand side. If you set it here, it will take you to the left. It will take the title to the left hand side. If you set it here, it will be on bottom. If you set it here, this is the default one, that is on top. If you select this, dock to the chart area. This is the chart area. This is your chart, right? If you want to make this title as part of the chart, then you have to set it to default or else set it to none. None means it will be residing outside of the chart area. Chart area is this one, the area which is used to generate and design and display the chart. And if you want to set this title on the chart area, then set it to default. Okay, or if you check this, then it will be shown outside here like this. So let me set it to none. And visibility, if you want to show and hide based on some properties, you can do it, or you can permanently hide it, or you can delete it also, right? And action, if I click on this title, you can see the same page. Action means the same page will be repeated even if you see in text box, for a text box or for an image. If you understand the base concept, then you can apply, you can play with this. If you want to take to a fresh report, for example, on click of this title, I want this report to be navigated to color report by passing the value color parameter, class parameter. Let me take the class value. Okay, it will be taken to the next report. And the font, if you want to set the font, I want to show the title in this format. Let me select some different format. Yeah, bookshelves or Bradley. So, and the size, you can set it. And if you want to bold it, you can bold it or unbold, italic, and you know about the remaining stuff like setting colors, blah, 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 and all the things here. And effects, if you want to set any effect like underline, strike through, or none, if you set it to strike through, it will be like this. And fill option, you know about this, gradient, and I'm setting some color. Gradient means light color to dark color moving. This is the first color, and this second color I am giving violet. So these two combination will be taken and the gradient will be created. Generally gradient will be taken with one dark color and with white combination. This is called gradient. Or you can go for pattern, it will be like this, white and dark green pattern. Or if you go for solid, only one color selection, it will be totally solid. And you know about this border and shadow. If you want to set some shadow effect, you can set it. You can see the shadow that is coming down. Oops, it has gone to top. Okay, I have set 6.5. You can see the shadow here just below to this. And shadow color, you can set it. I will set it to red color so that you can see it clearly. Can you see the shadow? So these are all the properties you can set to the title. Now let me execute this and show how the report looks. Not only about the report looks, I want to test the drill through action. If I click on this report, now you can see hand icon is coming. If I click on this, it has to take me to the next report, that is colors based on the parameter selection H. This is superb, right? So this is the properties you can set for the text. And if you click here, you have properties, and this is called legend. Legend means it will say what color is for what item. By default, it will show you the values, what are the metrics you are taking, sales amount and tax amount. If you want to take color to sales amount, I mean black sales amount, black tax amount, blue sales amount, and blue tax amount, then drag this color from categories to series. For example, if you drag it from here to here, you can see color A, sales amount. That means black sales amount, something like that. That won't look good. So let me take it back. Now you can set some properties for this legend also. Like you can place it wherever you want. Right? You can see now I'm placing it in the bottom. And layout, you can say show it in a table or row. It won't make much difference in table and row when you have very less number of values. Now we have only two, that is sales amount and tax amount. If you have 50 or 60, the table will be split like 3 or 4 columns per table, sorry, per row, and it will be shown in the next row after that. If you want to show in columns, it looks like this. And if you want to show in tall table, if you have more legends, then it will make sense. For now, let me take automatic table and dock to chart area if you want or not. It depends on your wish. It is very similar option like chart title. And if you see the visibility, it remains the same, font remains the same, fill remains the same, border and shadow effect, everything remains the same for the less than 2. And here, if you see, this is the colors, right? Black, blue, and so on. Let's say, for example, this is showing month information. You can set some properties for horizontal axis. You can see like axis type is category and scalar numbers or dates if it is. Let me set it to category and interval, it is auto. If you give 0 or -1, it will show every value. Auto means how, let's say I have 10,000 row items. I can't fit all the 10,000 row items in this interval, right? I mean in this small chart area. For example, let me preview it. Let me show the preview. If you see the horizontal axis here, I have black, blue, multi, NA, red, silver, white, and yellow. I have only 10 items, so it is showing perfectly. What if I have 50 items like this? I cannot show everything here. So what it will do is, if I set it to auto, the interval, it will take how many it can fit in that area. If it can fit some 10 items, it will take with a constant interval. Okay. And side margins, enable or disable, I have no clue. I mean, I have to try this one out. And interval type, whether it is a month or year, or based on that, this is a newly added property. Based on the interval type, it will select. Okay, let me set it to auto. You just try this interval part. It is nothing. I mean, if you have more than 10 rows or 10 to 15 items, it cannot fit everything in the horizontal axis. So it will take automatically some values. It will skip some values and it will consider some values. It's a default algorithm that is designed by SSRS. So if you try setting it to 0, it will show all the values, or -1, I think it will show all the values when you set to interval, when you have more than more number of values that can't fit in the horizontal axis. And labels, you can increase the size, you can decrease the size. The enable auto fit means automatically it will fit everything. And this is 90 degrees, and if you set it to 45 degrees, you can see the labels will be shown in 45 degrees. Let me do this. Oops, it is not showing. Just a second. Something wrong. Horizontal axis, labels. Yeah, here you have to set it. That is default fit. If you see, when I'm increasing the rotation, you can see the color, the labels are increasing. Right? I mean the angle at which the labels are placing is increasing. If I provide 90, it will be 90 degrees. 145, it will be 145 degrees, so max 90, I think. So like this, -75, let me give something like this. You can see it's a negative side, or +76, it will be positive side. So like this, you can set the angle of the label. Or if you want to hide the axis labels, you can hide it, nothing will be shown. Or hide first and last label means it won't show the first and the last label, and apart from that, everything will be shown. And here, this is for label font. You are very well, and you can try it at home. And if it is number, then what format you want to show this. If it is negative numbers, and you don't need it here, yeah. Generally, it will be, most of the cases, it will be textual information. If it is numbers, then if you want to show only negative values in this fashion, or if it is time, or if it is date, what format you want to show, you can set it here. And major tick marks, you'll have some tick marks here. Let me show you that. Length is, I'll set the length to 2. Sorry. The tick marks is nothing but this. The one you can see here, the lines that is talking about, that is the tick marks. If I set it to inside, it will be moved to inside. Now you can see the tick mark is move inside. And let me increase the size so that you can see it very clearly. Can you see the tick mark? It is pretty tall black color line. I set it to inside. If I set it to cross, it will show half inside and half outside. If I set it to outside, it will show outside. This is the major tick marks, and the style if you want to set. If you want a dash line, now you can see the line is dashed, and if you want to set the color to red or something else, you can set it. And line width, now you can clearly see that. Even if I decrease the size of this, now I'm decreasing the size to some 2 to 3. Okay. And for these tick marks also you can, this is the custom interval, just like that. That just like you set the label information, this is custom interval where it has to show for every value that it has to show, or automatically it has to show. As I told you, for if you have 50 label items, well, it is asking, it is like providing to the server, show for all the 50 the tick marks, or else show based on the interval that is selected here. And now the next one is minor tick marks. You can see here one minor tick mark, all the minor tick marks are there. I'll increase the size so that you can see. So this talks about the minor tick marks. If you don't want this, you can hide it, or if you unhide it, you can set the same properties. And the line what you can see here, the horizontal line, you can set some properties for that one also. I'm increasing the size so that it can be clearly visible. So like this, you can set the properties for the axis labels. In the same way, you can set the properties for vertical axis. The similar properties will be available here. And here you have a couple of new things, like what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value, and the interval type. So the minimum value and the maximum value is always better to set automatic. Why? Because it will get the values from the database. Based on the values, automatically these values, that 0, 20, 40, 60, 80 will be adjusted. So it's always better to set to auto value. And scale options, if you want it in reverse direction, you can see it in reverse direction. And if you want any scale breaks like this, generally you will see in some kind of report there will be scale break. Okay, this is some max value, like that. And use interlacing color means for every lines, alternate rows kind of thing, you will have colors. And use logarithmic scale, log 1 to the 1, log 10 to the 10, like that. So you have different options here. And let's say if I set some logarithmic scale to 35, it will show like this. So I'm poor in logarithms and mathematics, so let me keep this one aside. And the labels, label font, numbers, and everything will remain the same for this horizontal and vertical axis. And the next thing we have to see is chart area. Major grid lines, you can see the grid lines, right? Horizontal grid lines. You can set some properties for the grid lines too. Line style, let me set it to dotted. You can see these lines are changed to dotted, and I'm increasing the width so that you can see. Can you see that? This is the major grid lines of the report. So wherever you right click, you will get something, you will catch something to show the properties. Now this is the series properties, the values. You can set whatever the color you want. So this is the value, and category field is empty. Tooltip if you want to give, I am giving testing. Visibility, this is fine. Area and chart, this is also fine. You don't need to worry about this as this is not that high priority. And markers, this is very important one. You can set some markers. If I select square, you can see square markers on top of the series, or I'll give triangle so that it will be easy to find out. So if I click on OK and preview the report, so oops, it is not showing. Let me set the property properly. For this series, show data labels and series properties, markers, marker color to red I will set, and marker border width to some 4.5 to green color. Now let's see. You can see markers here, right? So this is the marker. I set for this and the markers are showing. Now I can set the same markers for the other series. These show data labels will show the value for the particular row or the column here. So this is the advantage. I mean, if you have this show data series value, then it will give you like what is the value of this particular bar, that column that is showing here, 8838411. The black color product is having the sales amount of 8838411.9576, and the tax they paid is some 707072.9871. That is the option, show data labels. If you don't want to show, you can remove the stuff. Let me remove the stuff for here also. And if you see the series properties, you have this legend. This is fine, the same thing. The legend is the one what you are seeing here on the bottom. This is the legend, or you can have your custom legend text. And action, if you click on this, if you want some action to be performed, you can set this action. And fill color, whether it's a gradient or something. If I set it to gradient, I can set my own color here. Now you can see green line to automatic gradient, or pattern. If I select, you can see it in pattern. You can set the color, or you can set the color based on the value. If column is products, show it in different color, or if the column is sales amount, then show in different color. So you can set the colors of the series based on some dynamic value also. Let me set it to gradient, green to red, green to white. And shadow and border, you are very well, we have seen all these options earlier. So these are the different options that are available in the report, in the chart type. If you see, this is the overall chart properties, where you can, this is the data set name, this is the tooltip if you want, color style if you want. If you have Excel, you have different styles here, color palette. And if I selected Excel, and let's see, you can see the color is changed here, right? The sales amount color, which is coming in a different format like Excel. This guy I'm talking about. And now let's see the couple of other properties that are available for chart. Visibility, you are very well aware what this visibility can do. Filters, if you want to filter any particular, these properties looks like similar to the tablets properties. And fill, if you want to set any color for the complete report, complete chart area, then you can set it. You can see the complete chart area using yellow color, and the border you can set based on the requirement, based on the size and the style. So this is the chart properties. We have seen so many chart properties, but there is one property which I am seeing here when I right click on the series, that is 3D effects. If I select this and click on enable 3D effect, that's it. This chart will be converted into 3D chart, three-dimensional chart. Now you can see this is three-dimensional chart. And again I'm going to 3D effects, and here you have one option. You can rotate the chart, 3D chart. See, the chart is rotating in the background, right? And inclination also, that means from top to bottom view, you can change the angle, the degrees of the change. And projection mode, how you want to project, you have two. One is in the same combined one, oblique, and the perspective is the splitted one, which will have a different, you can see it clearly in the perspective mode, right? Can you see it clearly here? And wall thickness, you can provide the wall thickness. I mean, all these properties are not meant to use in every report. It depends. If your user has given a specific requirement, then you need to know what are all the options that are available in the charts. And we have seen almost all the availables all the available properties in the charts in SSRS reports. So try to practice and try to apply each and every property. You need to have patience to try out all this stuff. Why? Because you need to set one property and preview the report and go back and set another property, preview the report. You have to do the same stuff. I mean, you need to spend some quality time on this particular charts. And if you see, when I right click on this, you can change the chart type. That's the beauty of this one. Now it is this column chart, right? If I select this 3D something, it will be changed. You can see it is already changed. The inclination stuff and everything. If I change the 3D effect, so you can see it clearly. Let me decrease it. You can see, right, it is showing in cylinders. This is cylindrical columns, what I have selected in the change chart type option. So it's as easy as this. Changing the chart type is damn easy. Like if I want to go for bar charts, come here and select this. It is showing the bar charts information. And if I don't want to show what I can say, the axis. If I don't want to show major grid lines, you can remove it. Axis title, if you don't want, you can remove it. And show axis, if you don't want, you can remove it. So you can make the report as chart as per your requirements. And I suggest you guys to go through each and everything and come back if you have any queries. That's it for today's session. In next session, we're going to discuss about couple of chart items we have available, like polar chart or pie charts. It is not of high priority, but always better to go through that. And after that, we'll have these new things: gauges and map, data bar, and sparkline and indicator are newly added one in SQL Server 2008 R2 version. We'll have a little discussion on this. After that, we will jump into the deploying of SSRS reports and report server. Thank you, guys.